Earlier this week, all 210 Democrats in the House of Representatives voted to allow babies to die of indifference and neglect moments after their birth. I know, sounds crazy, sounds ghoulish, but the unanimous voice of Hakeem Jeffries Democrat caucus was that mothers and doctors should not be obliged to provide medical attention to babies who have survived what's called a botched abortion. A botched abortion. Think about that term for a moment. What happens when you botch an abortion? What's the result of a botched abortion? What happens when an abortion goes wrong? A childbirth. A baby is born. That's what a botched abortion is childbirth. The Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act passed the House 220 to 210, and every single Democrat said no. Not just no, hell no. What do we make of this? Well, I asked Dr. Ben Carson, who's actually performed microsurgery on little babies in the womb, brain surgery on babies yet to be born. And Dr. Carson said this on my radio program. Look, I'd love for you to comment on that.
Well, it's hard to say anything other than that pure, unadulterated evil is what we're seeing in our society today. Some of the things that are being advocated, and the fact that you have large groups of people just going lockstep, arm in arm, not thinking for themselves, because I suspect some of those people who voted in that direction, if you actually sat down and talked to them and had a real conversation, they really don't believe that, and they really wouldn't go along with it. But, the consequences to them for not going along with the masses are so severe, most of them don't have the courage to do that. And you got to realize, if you're going to be the land of the free, you have to be the home of the brave. You have to be willing to stand up for what you believe in.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you will not be the land of the free for long.
Yeah, well said, Dr. Carson, a fine American patriot. But I think he's extending a little too much grace to some of these Democrats. They truly do believe this. In fact, look at supervillain Jerry Nadler, a congressman who represents, I believe, Dante's fifth circle of hell. He made the case for voting against this bill. Watch.
The problem with this bill is not that it makes anything, that it is not that it provides any new protections for infants. The problem with this bill is that it endangers some infants by stating that that infant must immediately be brought to the hospital, where, depending on the circumstances, that may be the right thing to do for the health and survival of that infant, or it may not. That is the problem with this bill. It directs and mandates a certain medical care which may not be appropriate, which may be endanger the life of an infant in certain circumstances. That's why we oppose this bill.
I know it was hard to understand him with the blood dripping from his fangs as he snarled there, but I guess he should get extra credit for at least using the term infant instead of a clump of meaningless cells. His henchman, Jan Schakowsky of Illinois, echoed. Here it is.
As our chairman had said, not only is it illegal to not care for a born infant, but the law that you have provided on the Republican side actually can create more harm. It requires immediately taking a struggling baby to a hospital. That hospital could be hours away and could be detrimental to the life of that baby. This is nothing more than the part of the effort to make abortion illegal nationally in this country. I object, and I urge a no vote and yield back.
It's pretty great that they have such concerns over protecting these poor innocent babies. Too bad that concern doesn't include banning the very procedure the baby in question just miraculously survived. You know, the abortion procedure that is literally designed to end the baby's life in the most gruesome manner possible. But yeah. The Democrats voted against providing medical care for newborn infants because all they care about is protecting babies. Just look at Nancy Pelosi posing with all her pals there that just tweeted out how proud they were to vote for babies to die on the hospital table. Funny though, there's no mention there of saving babies, just an attack on MAGA Republicans and her pal's dedication to access to abortion care. Access to abortion care, women's reproductive health, pro-choice, all euphemisms. You know what? Let's stop using this botched abortion euphemism then. Call it what it is, the birth of a child, the child that needs to be protected. That's it for today's edition. We'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, I'll see you on the radio.